ran into this guy the other day who I hadn't seen in years, and he had this strange woman with him, and I was staring at him, and then he noticed me. We made eye contact, and he walked over, and she followed him, and he was like, "Hey, Joe, what's going on?" And I was like, "Hey, dude." I couldn't remember his name. He said, "How's the family? You have a son, right?" I said, "Yeah, my son's good. He's almost 5. I also have a daughter. She's almost 2. He said, "You have a daughter now?" I said, "Yeah." Like I said, it had been a while. We were catching up. After 37 seconds of awkward small talk, he made me ask. I said, "Who the fuck is this lady friend of yours who is loitering outside the conversation?" He said, "Oh, this is my wife, so-and-so." I don't remember her name either. I'm terrible with names. I said, "Oh, your wife. That's interesting. Last time I saw you, you were not married. I'm sorry I couldn't make it to the wedding that I wasn't invited to." He said, "Joe, you're a dad. Do you have any advice for 2 people who are thinking about having kids?" And he glanced over at his wife, and she looked at him, and there was a gleam in her eyes, some tension in the air. I think she was ovulating. I said, "Yeah, I got some advice. Don't overthink it. It's not that complicated. People have been raising kids for thousands of years. Number 2, if you're thinking about having kids, don't ask somebody with kids for advice about having kids, because they will use that as an opportunity to share with you the most horrible, terrible stories about being a parent, and then end it with, 'But it's all worth it.'" He said, "Are you being serious right now?" I said, "Absolutely. These people don't have time for therapy, and they want somebody to feel bad for them and also proud of them at the same time. Let me give you an example. I have a 4-year-old and a 2-year-old, and I am no longer on time for anything. I am punctually deficient. I've lost a lot of friends because of this. I am no longer invited to events, like weddings. Hey, did you have a band or a DJ at your wedding?" He said, "We had a band." I said, "That's awesome. I've never been to a wedding with a band before. Right now I'm listening to a lot of Perry Grip." He said, "Who is Perry Grip?" I said, "You don't want to know, but Ice Cream Tiger is a fucking banger. Speaking of feeding my kids, it is an event. I can't remember last time I had a stress-free meal. Hey, at your wedding, did you have a buffet or a set menu?" He said, "We had a menu. We had Chilean sea bass, prime rib, chicken, and a vegan option." I said, "That sounds like an amazing menu. Here's the thing. When you have kids, you're going to have the opportunity to raise little versions of yourself. And you got to ask, does the world really need another you, another person who would have a wedding and not invite their best friend?" He said, "Joe, we're not friends. I don't even think you know my name." I said, "Of course I know your name. It's Joe." He said, "That's your name, dumbass." I said, "It was worth a shot." He said, "Do you know my wife's name? It shouldn't be that hard. I just fucking told you." I said, "It's Bethaniel." He said, "What the fuck is wrong with you? This is why I didn't invite you to our wedding." I said, "So you deliberately didn't invite me. Good to know. I hope you do have kids, and I hope they're real mean, because you have to be nice to them, or else you go to jail." He said, "Go fuck yourself." Anyway, he walked away. That was it. That's the end of the story.